All right, and welcome back to the fifth annual episode of Hakim's video journal. The fifth inaugural is inaugural. No, inaugural's first. Annual's yearly. So just the fifth entry in my video journal. I'm Hakim, of course. This is my video journal where I work on my speaking skills and become more articulate while organizing my thoughts on all sorts of different random topics. So, let's start with how my day was. So, today was pretty uneventful. I had a eye doctor appointment at 10:30 in the morning, which was a little early for me. I think I went to sleep at 3 or maybe 2 a.m. after playing a few games of League of Legends, which was maybe not the best decision. But I went to the eye doctor. If you can tell, uh, I've just been looking at myself a lot in the camera, so I've noticed this. But my right eyelid droops a little lower than my left one, especially when I'm tired. And they both start like drooping a little bit. The right one will sag more, I guess. Uh, it's not really a problem. There's like elective surgery you can take. Uh, Sorry, I got distracted thinking about my filler words, which hopefully is less of an issue than last episode. But maybe I should go back and count how many filler words are throughout each episode. But nonetheless, there's a surgery you can get on your eyelid that kind of pulls it back. Uh, I've heard it can kind of like make your face look weird the other way, that like more of your eye is showing on the eye that got the surgery. So not something I'm too worried about. But besides that, I have perfect vision. No problems in that regard, which is kind of a shame because I think glasses look good. I think I would look particularly good with glasses. So maybe I'll get some fake ones or some blue light glasses just so I can have that option to add, because I do like the look of glasses. After that, I just came home and went to work. I closed today, so I worked 2 to 10. Pretty uneventful. As far as talking to people and customers, I did, looking back, end a few conversations short. Like customers were talking to me past the robot level of the hey, how are yous. I was actually talking to customers, but I found the conversation kind of boring and just ended it by giving one word answers or just not wanting to talk to them. So a good challenge for me, I think, would be making like every conversation I have last as long as I can make it, especially with people I don't know, particularly. Like when I meet somebody new, try to keep that conversation going as long as possible. I should even like write that down. I'm tempted to do it right now, but hopefully I'll remember, or watching this back remember that that's something I want to do. But as far as my day gone, that's kind of all I just got back from work 5 minutes ago. Took my supplements I forgot to take in the morning, and I'm recording now. Yesterday, or I guess earlier today, at I believe 1:30 a.m. I recorded day 4. So I'm doing these earlier in the day to make sure I get them done. Hopefully even before midnight, so it's still in that day window. Uh, I think that's a good idea for all of my goals, to make sure they get done before midnight. I do want to still keep it towards the end of the day, so I'm not like missing stuff from my day in, I guess, the journaling that I'm doing here. So yeah, that was my day. Uh, the typical format, if I remember correctly, has been day, what I'm excited for, and journal. Today, I want to add just a section where I just talk about something I think I find interesting, or I know a lot about, or somewhere in between. So, working on I guess explaining something to an audience instead of just talking about my day. I also want to add maybe like a more scripted segment and work on my like reading or more like public speaking skills to an actual audience, like if I was giving a speech or a presentation or something to that regard. But next thing is, what am I excited for? So tomorrow is Wednesday, which means I only work 4 hours and I have jujitsu after that, so that's fun. I work at 2, so I have a lot of time to mess around during the day. I don't really have any plans right now. I should probably go to the gym in the morning to early afternoon before work. So, yeah, I don't really. Oh, I know something exciting. I have been in this whole social idea of getting better at all these skills. I have been keeping in touch with my friends more, and I've been taking actionable steps to actually hanging out with my friends more. And I'm organizing a, I guess, like jujitsu beach day and getting everybody to the beach to have all my jujitsu friends to the beach to have a fun time. So yeah, that's exciting. That should be happening on Saturday. So that's actually what I'm excited for. Both the process of getting like figuring out what time and what we're doing and all the little things like that, and then the actual event of the beach day. So yeah, that will be really fun on Saturday. And then yeah, let's look at my journal. Today, I journaled more than I did yesterday, but not that much more. I just journaled, I think, in like 10 minutes of my lunch break at work. So I do really want to keep the pattern of adding more to my journal each time and writing a little bit more. Definitely getting my morning routine on lock will definitely help with that. That's something I've been lacking in recently. But at work right now, and I have some time. I went to an eye doctor appointment. It was pretty uneventful. Just listening to a podcast made me think of rock climbing, which I want to try. Yeah, so I guess that's something I'm also excited for. I don't really have any plans to, in the immediate future, go rock climbing, but it's just something I've been thinking about. I do like the physical problem solving aspect of it, and it seems like something that would just be really up my wheelhouse. So that's definitely something on my list that I want to try. I guess something I forgot to mention wasn't a eventful part of my day particularly, but I did watch the movie Bottoms, which I liked. It was kind of just a funny, goofy movie. I didn't take it too seriously. Marshawn Lynch is in that movie, which was it was cool to see him. I think I talked about him maybe 2 days ago in his interviews, but it, he says some interesting stuff in that movie. Uh, yeah, but it was good. I think I gave it 5 out of 10 stars. It was just a fun thing to watch, I guess. Just something I remembered about my day. Rock climbing. Uh, oh yeah, I'm making plans with my friend that I don't see very often to go to the gym, which is good. He's been very busy with work, so we've hung out I think like once or twice this summer. So we're making plans again to go to the gym, probably grab some food too, and hang out. So yeah, that's another thing I'm excited for that I kind of forgot. Probably gonna play some games with my friends tonight. I need to make sure to record once I get home and to take my supplements to get everything out of the way. Yeah, and that's kind of all. So, uh, usually this is where the episode would end, but I guess the new thing I'm going to add today is I just want to talk, I guess, a little bit about Super Smash Bros. Melee, which is something I find interesting. I used to play it when I was like in sixth grade. I watched the Smash. If you're, I guess, in the know, you know about the Smash documentary, but it was like this, not really big, but this documentary about the Super Smash Bros. Melee community that really brought a bunch of people into it. And when that happened, I got into it also. So I had a GameCube and a Melee disc, and was just terribly playing with my friends on a flat screen television, which the GameCube and Melee are made for CRTs, so there's like a lot of input lag with like flat screen HD televisions. And but I then got out of it, and then maybe 2 years started getting back into it and learning all the tech, and got a controller and set up Slippy. Slippy is this guy just my understanding of the lore is he quit his job to make online Melee playable. So he just made rollback netcode, or a really efficient online system that doesn't lag very much for fighting games, and made it free and accessible for the Melee community. The Melee community is kind of like this weird like underground scene, because there's I I want to say obviously, but if you're familiar with the Super Smash Bros. Franchise, there have been several games after Melee, the one for the GameCube. So you might ask, like, what makes this one special, or like, why why are random people making internet servers for this game that the company Nintendo isn't even supporting? Uh, but it's just a really mechanically deep game, and that there's not all the, I guess, fluff of the later games in the series. It's extremely technical and way faster, and a lot of people would find it more exciting than some of the other games in the series. So I guess in my rambling, I want to just give my understand, or explain to you my understanding of some of the tech in Melee, or just the, yeah, I guess the different techniques that people do. So one of the most quintessential movement options is wave dashing, where you jump and then air dodge into the ground. Melee has directional air dodges, which means if you're in the air and press the shield button, your character does a dodge animation, and you can choose which way they go. So if you put it into the ground, you jump up and glide across the ground basically, and it lets you move around very efficiently. Next would be L canceling, when you hit the ground in a aerial animation and press the shield button, it stops some of the end lag of your character. End lag is just when you use a move in a fighting game, you can't use another move right after for some amount of time. And in, I guess, I want to say in computers, but in video games, and movies, things are measured in frames. So every frame, something is able to move. So you're not able to move if it's like, if you can imagine like turns, you're not allowed to move after your aerial for, let's say, 10 turns, but if you L cancel it, you can move after 5 turns. And these frames happen at 24 frames a second, I believe, in Melee. But that could just be for movies. It might be 60 frames. I'm not too sure, but it's not of it. It's a long time and not a long time at the same time, if that makes any sense. Uh, so end lag just stops you from spamming moves too fast, if you will. It's kind of similar to hit stun, which stops you from responding too fast after you get hit. So after you get hit in most fighting games, you can't react for a certain amount of time until you are out of your hit stun, and then you can move. So I'm thinking if I want to go deeper into it. I'm realizing this this is good to just get this experience uh, now talking to the camera, but I don't think this is a particularly good topic to bring up in this way because I'm less knowledgeable about melee tech than uh, other things, and it feels like there's a lot of without being able to show video alongside it, there's a lot of imagination and pre-existing knowledge that kind of has to be there to understand the the inner game of Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube, coming out in 2001. Fun trivia. So I think that's all for that segment for now. I'll come back with something different tomorrow, and I think that's all for my video journal today. I guess a few meta notes at the end. I feel like I did better with the filler words than yesterday. Yesterday it felt really bad, maybe just because I was hyper focused on the filler words, but I felt like I was stopping a lot during that. And then also I feel like I've been looking at the camera a lot more today than before. So I think both of those things showing improvement, which is always good to see. I think in these soft skills, it's really hard to see your improvement. Like you don't get the instant gratification of like, oh, I changed how I did and I won a game, right? Like you don't get the instant gratification of seeing yourself improve. So staying disciplined, staying wanting to improve all these soft skills, I think will start to pay dividends over the long term and not in the short term. So yeah, I think those are my thoughts for today, and hopefully today has been. I might just check if I've been talking longer than okay, good. I have been talking longer than the last episode. I don't like the habit of each episode being shorter than the last. So I think around 20 minutes, uh maybe like 15 minutes for the average day, and then like around 30 minutes if I had a particularly exciting day, or maybe on the weekends it will end up being 30 minutes. That's kind of interesting to think about of, over maybe the course of a year, like what days have the shortest amount of like what days do I have the least to talk about on. So, but for now, that's all. And if you watched this, thank you. If you didn't, you're not seeing this, so don't worry about it. And I will see you tomorrow.